Okay, video number 1, user interface. Let's tab over into Blender here. So this is what Blender looks like when you start it. And we can see there's kind of a lot going on. We've got this top bar with you've probably seen file edit and stuff before. Then you got all these, come back to those. And then we've got these 4 major panels or areas. And immediately, I just want to make this more simple. So I'm going to hover over this split right here on the right, if you can see my mouse moving. And I'm going to join these areas. And so I'm going to right click, and it's going to give me some options. And I'm going to click join areas. And this starts what's called a modal operator, which is just a fancy way of saying mini mode. Oh, and it doesn't last forever if you don't interact with it, which is interesting. So I'm going to do that again. It starts a modal operator, mini mode, which is fancy for it. It takes control of your mouse, and you do a little interaction by moving your mouse, and then it takes control until you're done, and it knows you're done because you either confirm or cancel. You confirm with left click, which I'm going to do, and you could cancel it with right click. So for example, if I click join areas and I'm going this way, but I didn't mean to do that, I can just right click and it cancels the mini mode. So I'm going to do that over here. I'm going to join the areas. So I want you to look at both of these, and this also applied to the 2 we just closed. In the upper left-hand corner, and I'll talk about the types more in the next video, the types of panel/area. Up in the upper left here, we have these 2 buttons that have different icons, but on the right they both have a little arrow, which means they're a drop-down. And these are both the same thing. The icon just indicates what type of panel/area you're in at that moment for that panel. And the big thing here is that this can become any other type of panel. So we've got, you can see that symbol right there matches the one on the right. That's the outliner. Now I can have 2 outliners, or I can switch this to a 3D viewport and switch this to a 3D viewport, and I can have 2 3D viewports, and that's defaulted at the top, but I can kind of move it so it looks like the other one if I want. Again, talk about how I did that in the next video. So the big takeaway here is that you can turn these panels/areas into any other type of area. And then not only can you hide stuff, you can also split it. And so the split brings up, if I right click, I bring up split. I did horizontal, and I get this horizontal line that I can move around, and then I can left click to confirm where I want it. And I get another area, which I can turn into anything I want. And then I can right click and maybe do a vertical split and turn that into whatever kind of area I want. And then do another split and turn that into any kind of area that I want. So the takeaway that I want you to have here is that Blender is super customizable, and you can get your layout to look pretty much however you want it to look, whenever you want it to look that way. And so that brings me up to these things up here. These are just preset layouts, and you can achieve all of these layouts with the tools that I just showed you of right clicking to split, and then clicking that upper left in the area, that upper left drop down the area, to choose what kind of area you want it to be. So, and if you clicked one of these and you changed it, you can go back to layout. Let's see if it kept. Did it keep my? Yeah, see, it didn't keep my changes. It looks like. I think I was in animation. So if you change, let's test that. If I go to a preset, I go to vertical split, and I change it, and we'll put a 3D viewport. Layout is the one that I was customizing myself, and that's persistent. But if I go back to animation, oh no, also persistent. You can always restart Blender, and then I think these will go back to their preset if you want. But the big thing is, I don't use those at all. I just use these kind of three little tools: the joining, the splitting, and the drop down. I just use those to customize my workspace as I go through a project. And that's the big takeaway, is that the real way to do this, I think, is to just kind of start, get an initial layout that you like and you want, and then you can go in and you can change it as you need to change it, however you want. The only other thing I want to touch on here is that you can also go up to Window and click New Window, just in case you want to have, maybe you've got 2 monitors, and you want to have another window in another monitor, or you want to separate your workspace somehow. That is an option. And if you have this new window, you don't have a split to right click and then start to customize. So you just go up to this top bar you notice here and you click. It's the same, this top bar is the same as kind of back here, the top bar for our other 3D views. And you go to view, go all the way to the bottom where it says area, and then you can see horizontal or vertical split, and then pick whichever one you think is more appropriate as your starting point, and then you can get the vertical split that you wanted. And from there you can go in and further start to change stuff. And I did a horizontal split, but I could turn that into a vertical split by joining this area down and then joining this area down. Now I got a vertical split. So hopefully that gives you an idea of just how, customizable Blender's UI is. And also how easy it is to customize Blender's UI.